Yeah, he's like, I need to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to go for a brisk walk 2 days in a row, and whoom. By the way, welcome
What's
to Fired
up?
Up Friday.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're getting fired up.
Gideon just got done his 2 weeks of torture.
Oh.
So he went.
All right.
He went up to wherever it is that they
Wherever they torture folks.
And anyway, that little shout out to him. Pretty
Right
proud
on,
of him
dude.
for
Yeah,
surviving,
absolutely.
surviving that. It's gonna be amazing.
So like he's actually able to. He's at the ripe young age of what?
19.
Oh my
Barely
God.
19. Yeah.
No, 19. I could probably eat like McDonald's at every meal at 19.
Yeah, he said one of the things they did was shove him in a barrel that is too small for a person, and then
Over Niagara Falls.
yeah, pretty much. But they'd leave him in there for a long time doing a bunch of different things. But then he wouldn't be able to move, so they literally would like dump him out, and he just lay there on the floor for a while until stuff would start working again.
Circulation comes back.
Yeah, like eventually, yeah, all the things.
Wow.
So I was like, that sounds
Okay.
great.
All right.
I'm like, I'm sure if I did this, I would be in prison.
Oh.
But like,
Yeah,
I feel like
you did it. Yeah,
like
there'd be
these guys
government
gonna take
entities.
out 30 years of 20 years of parenting aggression. It's great. No, I'm really proud of him. He's doing awesome.
Dude,
And now
you
he's in
should be proud.
Oklahoma, so I'll go up and see him.
Well, I got another one of my buds. His kids at West Point.
Yeah.
And so like
So cool.
same but different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And so what's funny is he'd be like, man, like he'd be like down on himself. Or,
Yeah.
just pick one
Yes.
random thing to feel bad about, like work, life,
Right.
whatever. And I'm like, dude. Your kid made it to West Point. That
yeah.
goes in the win column, no matter how much.
Tell you what, one of the cool things that we're going to talk about health here in a second, so y'all get ready. We're gonna give you the behind the curtain,
The old man hour.
the old man behind the curtain shizzle. But I think one of the things that's really important. Well, one of the things that's really important is the event we're doing soon.
Yes.
What is that? May
2nd.
May
2
2nd?
weeks from today.
Whew, it's going to be awesome. So all the people are like, hey, we should hang out. Cool, come to the event.
Yes, we will hang out.
That's where
Yes.
we can hang out. But like I think, and I think my buddy Hank helped coin the phrase something along the lines of like multi-dimensional success, and meaning like rating yourself not just on one dimension or another, because it is easy. It's like pick the one area that I'm sucking at and hyper focus on that.
Yes.
And it's like that's not really all that healthy. So it's like, okay, how am I doing on health? How am I doing on friendships? How are my relationship with my kids? So like it's okay to grade yourself. I'm like, hey, I'm a 5 out of 10 here, or 3 out of 10 here, 8 out of 10 here, whatever. It's okay to grade yourself like multi-dimensional
Yes.
happiness.
And
he has a cool phrase. I can't remember what Hank's phrase for it is, but it's really cool. But like that, that's the formula.
Yeah, if you're a psycho like me, everything just distills down to like, well, I don't really have anything other than work.
Well, yeah.
Well, and it's like I freely admit that I managed to parlay.
Which is funny because it's not true. Because like for you, like you have your health, you have amazing friendships, you're like, it's work, but work is also multifaceted. So there's like coaching to what you do. There's like mentorship to what you do. There's like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
I do have a bunch of adopted strays and so like,
but that's a part of like your whole dichotomy.
Yes, there is something that is true, and thank you for that.
Yeah, that was a big
every once in
word,
a
by
while,
the way. Threw out at the end there, dichotomy. I don't even know what it actually means. It felt right in the moment.
Yeah, if somebody could just text us right quick.
Let us know what dichotomy means.
Yeah. So we have a new member of my pack of strays.
Yes.
That he is actually the guys right now. So Tanner is now out right now in the field running the guys. They're over at Metrotex. They're about to shoot. I think it is property management forum committee, something or other. I don't know, some sort of panel, thing or whatever. But I love having that sort of adoptive mentor / whatever, because it's like, chronologically they're all in the demographic that they could be my kids or whatever, but they're not.
Absolutely.
So I got
but
that
they
guy.
are.
Yeah.
I remember Mary talked about this, and she was talking about Mary Dingwell, and she was talking about how like she has a bunch
I
of
thought we were going
adopted.
Catholic there for us. Like, okay.
No, but she talks about her adopted kids. She's like, hey, these are all my. Like,
Yes.
I collect them all, and there's a lot of people out there that need that. And what's interesting is, and you probably maybe have had it. I'm sure you have. Most of us can look back. There's a handful of people that, like played a really pivotal role, and whether they stay in our life forever or whether it was a season, but it's like, man, if you can be that for multiple people, it's really cool.
Yeah, and you'll have that one or two in your life or whatever that paid attention to you in the right way.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, hey, you might like this, or you might be good at this, or this seems to be right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so now, Austin, who is the newest, so he'll be the studio sidekick.
Nice.
So hypothetically, this will be the last week that I run, like I turn everything
there
on
you
and then
go.
run
Yes.
over, even though like somebody asked me, they were like, oh, I thought that was your gimmick for the show.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it
yeah.
was,
You figured this out.
yeah, it was an organic gimmick
yeah.
that we came by it honestly. But yeah, so like it's also a sign of wow, things are good because everybody's out shooting and doing stuff.
Yep.
So that leaves me to okay, I got to turn on all the
Yeah,
gizmos
absolutely.
and then
Great.
run over.
Yeah.
But so speaking of health, so
Okay.
right beforehand, my stomach's growling a little bit. So like perhaps my formula is off.
yeah.
But I haven't eaten since probably 2:00 yesterday afternoon. So.
Which starts with, so here's my first question. Like, where were you at? Like, when did you, have you always been great at this, or was there a turnaround moment? It's funny because this morning I was like, missed my turn, running late. And you're like, I was like, I got to turn around. You're like, yeah, that's the topic of today. It's like,
Yes.
sometimes you miss your turns and
Often.
you just need to turn around. I mean, there's literally U-turns built into the road. And sometimes that's just
Yes.
part of life. So, like, were you always on this great health journey, or is this newer?
No. So prior to sobriety,
Yeah.
I would have been maniacally. It was. We always joke about this sort of thing where it's like suicide on the installment plan,
Yeah.
where it's like I'm just blowing out my liver just one day
Yeah,
at a time,
yeah,
and then you flip that, and it turns out like, oh wow, I haven't eaten in a long time.
Yeah.
And so a lot of folks, and it's human nature, the sensation or whatever you replace one addiction with another.
Sure.
And so, like I said, knock wood, that
Yeah.
mine is workaholism,
Right.
which in our society is actually encouraged and
Right.
rewarded.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, so I got
Nailing
that
it.
going for me. But I've had tons of friends that they get sober and they're reasonably, healthy or whatever.
Sure.
So their BMI is
Yeah.
okay. But then the next thing you know,
They blow
they're
out,
just
yeah.
off the charts and they
Yeah.
and so I don't know if scientifically if your metabolism actually slows. I think the jury's out on that sort of thing. But I do know that as I got older, my internal wiring or my desire to like, hey, let's go run or let's go
Right,
walk
yeah.
or let's not that I ever ran. Let's just go ahead and call that. But brisk walk. maybe.
Yeah,
But really, my saving grace there was walking dogs. I always
Yeah,
had
oh,
dogs,
okay.
and now I don't.
Yeah.
So my big turn was hanging with Daniel Ang is. It's like nothing else, man. It's like that dude is Mr. Social, give the world a hug, big groups, big people, big meals, restaurants. And like, I went on the road with those guys for like the better part of a week.
Yeah.
We ate every meal in a restaurant. And now that's not me anyhow.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I came back and I probably gained like 8 pounds, 9 pounds. And it also felt like I ate a 5-pound bag of
Yeah,
salt every day.
yeah.
Which I will freely admit, I love. If somebody says it's salty, it probably still needs more salt.
Yeah,
as far as
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
concerned. But it was like literally, oh my God, what am I doing? So then I went to intermittent fasting, and I'm still experimenting with it now because I did it for about
Yeah.
6 months where I was just hardcore.
Yeah.
And I did that 8 hours, 16 hours. Then I whittled it down to 1 meal a day,
Yeah.
which was just ridiculous. But then my kind of balls out crazy part of my mind took over, and it's like I'm gonna eat 1 meal a day, so I'm gonna eat like I'm King Louis or whatever, and it was like okay, that's probably not advisable because then I felt like I just ate a basketball
Yeah, and then
for
you
like
couldn't
5
move- yeah,
hours.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so now I have this better living through science, better
Yep.
living through chemistry.
Yep.
But I'm trying to adopt that now into healthier. So it's like all of the gimmicks like creatine and protein and all that stuff.
Yep.
I do that. But then my personal trainer, who I got so damn busy that I haven't been able to do that. I still do the cardio. I still do the elliptical every day. So I've done the
Nice.
elliptical, except for today. Hadn't done it yet. But I've done it every day since January 1st.
That's
And I do with
awesome.
a weighted
Yes,
vest
so
and ankle
great.
weights.
That's
And because
awesome.
like hey, if you're going to do it,
Yeah.
do it like an
There
insane
you go.
person would do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But what we were talking about, or what I was going to tell you earlier, is so my morning concoction now is the AG1 Athletic Greens.
Yep.
Then I have this electrolyte powder, and I got this one that I liked it, but like, oh my God, it had like 10,000 milligrams of sodium in it. I'm like, okay, I have blood pressure issues just genetically, so I probably shouldn't do
Your blood
that.
just stops. It's
Yeah.
like, and no.
Yeah. But I ended up getting this one off Amazon that has like low sodium.
Yeah.
And so it's electrolytes, athletic greens, this strawberry it's like a strawberry syrup. So if you went somewhere that did like fancy drinks or
Yeah.
whatever, you'd notice them on the back of the bar.
Right.
Usually, like a high-end coffee place,
Sure.
will have the chocolate and
Okay.
caramel versions of this stuff. Well, I ordered the strawberry. And,
Yeah.
oh my god, dude, it is. I probably could do shots of it just by itself.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
like that on the athletic greens, and then there is the psyllium powder,
Yeah.
which is this natural fiber. So it's the thing that old people take in like Metamucil or like
Yeah, yeah.
fiber gummies,
Yeah.
in like little tiny amounts or
Right.
whatever. But of course, if you're gonna go big,
Yeah.
go big or go
yeah,
home.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what are
yes.
we doing here? So I put like 2 spoonfuls of that. Now the thing is, this stuff will congeal and it will turn
So you gotta
into a
go fast.
gel
Yeah.
in your stomach. Yeah. So the first couple of times it's like, and then I put it down, and then I like, and then it's like solid.
That's awesome.
And so, did you ever have? So I probably got like 10 or 12 years on you. So do you remember slime?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you were like a kid, they had these like little garbage cans and it was slime. It was
Oh,
just-
yeah.
It turns into like that,
Yes.
or that consistency where it's like, oh, all of a
Right.
sudden it's sort of this like jiggly like lump of
Right,
stuff.
not Jello, but
Yeah,
also
exact-
not
yeah.
water. Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle.
But the thing is, dude, it swells up, and then oh my god, dude, it is like whoa.
You feel full forever.
Yeah, you feel
That's
full,
awesome.
and like so, like I did that.
So
this
does
morning.
that count or not count as your fasting? So when you drink this concoction, are you still fasting, or does that kill the fast?
Technically, it would kill the fast.
Okay.
Because I want to say Athletic Greens coupled with the Magic Mind and the psyllium probably has somewhere in the neighborhood of like 70 calories.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm fasting from like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night to 12 or 1 the next day. Right. So then
Oh.
I've got a 5 or 6 hour window.
Okay.
But I start my fast, or I start my eating window with a shake or like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got not all. I'm gonna add a couple of things, but it's got a ton in there. It's got like my vegetables, my greens.
Yeah, the
It's got
AG1.
all the things, the protein. It's got everything else. I'm gonna add a little fiber in there. But like the cool thing is I'll start with that shake,
Mm-hmm.
and that carries me basically till dinner or whatever.
Yes.
Then I'll have a good dinner, and then we're done. If I'm starving in the middle, I'll have a protein something. But,
Right on.
That's huge.
Well, see, like my thing too is I could live off of just protein bars, like the
Yes,
sci-fi
yes.
craziness,
Yep.
But the thing is, most of them have like zero fiber.
Yeah, exactly.
And they will just turn into this sort of solid
Stuck.
mass of, it's like like
Yeah.
a chemical lab
yeah,
in your
yeah.
stomach. And I learned the hard way a couple of times back in the day of the pure protein. They're like these yogurt covered. None of it's real, I'm sure.
Sure.
But they're super high in protein, like
Yeah.
maybe 20 grams per bar.
Yeah.
And I love them. So like I'm a child of the 80s, and so I was raised on fruit flavored things.
Right.
Like if you want to give me fruit, I don't want that. I want the strawberry flavored
Yeah.
thing. I don't want strawberry.
Right.
Who wants strawberries? What are you talking about? It's like I want a strawberry Pop Tart. But now I parlayed that into the legendary protein Pop Tarts. Oh my god.
Are they good?
Oh, they're so good. The legendary guys are the first ones to get most low carb chocolate.
Yeah.
Tastes like some sort of sci-fi
terrible, yeah.
weirdness that is just like, what is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
They're the first ones to get the consistency of like the innards of the Pop Tart.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, dude, I lived off of Pop
This
Tarts.
is crazy.
And these, I get the strawberry, blueberry, and chocolate.
Yeah.
Now, they're probably like 17 times more expensive than Kellogg's Pop Tarts.
Yes, yes.
But they're also probably 17 times
Better for
less
you.
bad
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah.
But I could live off of that shit.
That's so fun.
And because I'm also, again, as a latchkey kid and a child of the 80s, it's like, give me convenience or give me death.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, or you're taking too long, which is kind of tailor-made for today's world.
Yeah.
And even the way that everything is accelerated and everything is, then you get into real estate and it's like, of course, we wanted it yesterday.
Right.
I'm calling you now.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah.
but
Well, I think that's one of the hardest things is realizing that for me, one of the big shifts was that this isn't a push and then you're done. It was
Nope.
like, oh, this is a lifestyle that I have to adopt. Like, this is just a way of being. And I don't even know if I knew that in my head, but I think for a long time it was like, okay, I'm going to do this until I hit this weight goal, or I'm going to do this until whatever. And like, then I would do it and then just immediately go back to whatever. So like, I think that's been the hardest part for me is like, oh, this is just like, you're just going to the gym now forever.
Yeah, because you go to the gym.
Right, because that's just
Yeah.
what you do. Like, and I think that was hard for me, especially with our go mentality. So it's like I had to figure out, and my health journey's been like slower, in a sense, but it's like I've adopted little habits along the way that and like stacked them, right? It's like this little habit stacking thing it's been really really healthy
Yeah,
for me.
'cause
And I have to do it all. Like for me to feel good, it's like it's all the things, right? Like
Yes.
like I have to like take all the pills. I have to take my testosterone shots. I have to take my other shots. I have to take I have to do my protein shakes with all my vegetables in it. Then I have to eat right. Then I have to drink a ton of water, right? Then on top of that, it's like, okay, well, and then there's the things you don't do, like the sugar attacks that I love to have
Yes.
at 9:30 at night. Then I need to do intermittent fasting. Then I need to sleep good, right? Which means I wear my really sexy mask, which is very
is it
hot.
a breathe right mask or is it a blackout
No,
mask?
it's like a CPAP mask.
Oh, okay,
So when I
okay.
don't wear that, turns out my doctor's like, I don't know what's wrong. I went to the sleep study. They're like, you're not fat, but you also don't sleep. Like you're just gonna probably need this. We don't know why. I was like, love science, but okay.
Okay.
I woke up. I was waking up 72 times an hour, and never getting to REM sleep. So like no
Holy
wonder I felt like
shit.
crap and I wasn't losing weight. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, start doing this, and this is like a big.
Well, you
part
were
of
like
your
running a
whole journey.
marathon in your sleep.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was
God.
crazy.
So I do melatonin and
Me too.
chelated magnesium.
I need to get the magnesium, man. I don't do
That's
that.
the other kickstart to the melatonin. And so like I'm 56, so you know, insert old man joke here. We're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up and pee. Okay, let's just go ahead and yep,
Yeah.
that's a thing. It comes along. It's basically like the day that you realize you need to use readers.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're probably gonna pee a couple times in the middle of the night that day too. But the magnesium and the melatonin. So I take it about 8:30.
Yeah.
So that
How much
way,
do you take of each?
just whatever it is, like the one little melatonin dissolvable thing,
Yeah.
and then two.
need-
Oh my god,
I
the
need to add the
magnesium
other
are like
one.
horse pills.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't put it in a warm.
Nah.
My brother
No.
was like warm tea.
I looked at that, and then the thing is, all right, that's already too. Again, going back
Too
to
many steps.
yeah, that was give me convenience or give me death.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I love
But
the
he likes
idea
the
of
tea.
that.
I think I would like the tea too, because I think it would be like I would like have something.
But
Because I love
then-
having something to
but
drink. at
now,
night.
now when you go down the rabbit hole, what's the impact of the tea on the fasting?
I didn't
That's
think about
where it
that.
that's where it get and if you're like me, you know, borderline psychotic
Yeah.
on most of this stuff, it's like, oh, I got this fine line of I want everything to be maxed out
Yes,
and
yes,
all you know, all needles pegged with efficacy.
Yeah. What about the
And-
people that do magnesium spray on their feet at night? They say that's a thing. They spray their feet, and they say that they sleep amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. So do that, and then get a grounding pad, and we'll talk.
I have the grounding pad.
Do you have it in your bed?
Yes.
Or where, really?
Yes.
Do you have
Jury's
to be-
out on that.
Do you have to be on the pad, like
Well,
skin on
that's
skin?
the thing. It's like the jury's out on that. But the truth is, I don't know if the ground in my wall plug is actually doing its job. And now that you mention it, this will be the 37th time in the last 3 months, and I'm like, I need to get a ground tester.
Yeah, give us feedback on grounding, like
And-
up or down. What do you think? Is it good?
Oh,
or is-
it definitely has merit.
Okay.
You know, yeah, and there is definitely, you know, the joke of like go touch grass or whatever.
Absolutely.
But there's something to and I love like the feng shui and the idea of like facing north, like the north south or whatever, for sleeping. Now it just so happens that my
I've never heard about the French way sleeping.
feng
north-
shui.
Oh, feng shui.
you know, like where you have
okay,
all
sure,
the things. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, like so certain cultures, it's like you can't have a front door that you can see the back door.
Okay, yes.
Bad mojo there.
Okay.
So same thing with like the orientation of how you sleep, north south.
I'm not moving my bed.
Well, there again, it comes down to I
wonder
lucked
if I
out.
think it actually is north south because I'm already nailing it. I think based on the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got that.
Sun goes.
But
yeah, there we go. Okay.
waking up 72 times a night, you might be
not as
like
good.
north by
Not as
northwest
good.
or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I lucked out, and my bedroom is oriented
Yeah.
north south.
you
And so the other thing is, I got one of those. I didn't get the sleep number mechanized gimmick or whatever, but I got the mattress where they send you all the shit and you like test yourself or whatever.
Okay.
Much better because my memory foam that was like super cool back at like Crate and Barrel or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, right
Oh my
back there with
God.
water beds.
Well, yeah, dude, my memory foam thing like got Alzheimer's, bro, and it was just like, it remembered the divot. That's what it after a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
it
It's just like, and now I just lay in this crack.
right now
I
I just,
cannot move.
Yeah,
yes.
now I just lay in this like Rick-shaped
Yeah.
crater.
Yeah. By the way, what the hell with water beds? Like, I mean, I never had a water bed, but the one or two I've been on, I'm like, I don't know how things looks hard.
Yeah, there was.
Looks like a challenge.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like, hey, you burn twice as many calories
Well,
because you're
and
just trying to hold on for dear life.
One of my friends growing up had one, and it was like this. It was this gargantuan thing. It was like big as a Volkswagen.
Oh,
as far
yeah,
as,
yeah.
And then the whatever that weird life raft gimmick thing that it's kind of made out of, where it's like, oh my god. And then the contraption to get like the hose into your bedroom to like fill. I'm like, what are we doing here, bro? And then like 2 people on it. It's like a wave pool.
I mean, maybe that's a thing.
And even like
Somebody's still rocking it.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
There's got to be people out there that are like dying on the hill of the water.
now there may or may I cannot confirm nor deny that there may or may not have been a couple of stoned teenage moments where
yes.
oh, this is awesome.
Oh,
dude.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, I got Black
Yeah.
Sabbath on
No,
or
I'd
whatever.
love to have a waterbed to lay on like once a month for 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, but like
right.
we don't need to live there.
Oh, every night? No. And then there was the heated, not heated thing. Because, like, dude, in the winter, oh my God. Okay, now you're on the pond that is like, oh, it's getting ready for hockey. We're just not there yet.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
bro. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a very California thing.
Yeah.
That, that I'm sure just sort of like slowly but surely moved.
There you
but
go.
do you remember like the waterbed places? You're like,
No.
oh, like the waterbed showroom. It was like every like goofy, weird Playboy Mansion thing that you could ever think of. Or like, that always made me think of Larry on Three's Company.
Oh yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the
that would
guy
make
upstairs, the
sense.
skeezy. He
Yes.
would be like the giggity guy on Family Guy. Yeah, just that sort of like sleazy kind of
Yes.
used car salesman
Yes.
kind of chest hair.
There you
medallion.
go.
Yeah,
There you go.
There you go.
So see, so in all this craziness, here's the magic. I think it's never too late to start.
Agreed.
But also, every mile you drive is a mile you need to go back, right? So, like, once you're aware, there's no bonus points for like staying on a path that isn't serving you. You know what I mean? But I think with health, especially, like it's like we do our mentalities like go all in or nothing, and that didn't serve me. Like it served, and some people are different, but for me, it served me like stack this. Then stack this, like little by little by little, and I say little by little, like I was able to do a phenomenal amount in a short amount of time, but it wasn't all day one. It was like, hey,
Right.
this is week 1, this week 2, right? A little, and I think like give yourself permission to just start with a couple of things, and then it's not going to be perfect. Explore. Like I've talked to all the doctors, like I've done none of the doctors. They did the thing. Like it takes you to figure out what works for you. And
Yes.
I was really happy the other day. I posted about it, but I got my blood work back, and like my blood work is better than it's been literally in 20 years.
Oh, my blood is probably like what you'd have on the grill at Denny's.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's been really helpful. But it's nice to also know what's going on. I think it is.
What do you
different
think
for
of the
every person.
testosterone thing? Is that what do you think of this?
So here's my journey on testosterone. What I noticed is I got tested because my buddy's like, hey, you should, I'm
Yeah.
40 now. Like things just
When I'm
are
over
different.
40.
But the other day I saw like what was expected of a 50-year-old like 25 years ago. What's expected of a 50-year-old now? Now he's got like abs. And he's wearing,
yeah.
I
have, like, 2 abs
Andy
that
Elliott
still show.
pants. Yeah. But I don't even know what else. Oh yeah, but testosterone.
yeah.
Here's what I noticed when I'm on it. I don't really notice anything different, but I do notice when I'm off it.
Oh.
So when I'm off it, I'm like, ooh, it feels a little. I feel a little slower, a little less. Right?
than?
So yeah. So like when I'm on it, it feels like I just feel normal and good. So I also had to add some other stuff, but yeah, that's worked really really good for me. So
Right on.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm curious, but the thing is, it's like once you start, you can't.
Well, and that's the thing. Some of the stuff's like once you start, you kind of like that's just who you are.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you got to do from here
Well,
on.
although I could definitely see myself as like the Sylvester Stallone or whatever.
Yeah.
If I make it to 70,
Yeah.
I'm going over to like some crazy pack rim
Yeah.
place and getting like whatever.
Absolutely,
Just
absolutely.
like up one side and down the
Yeah.
other, coming back and being shredded.
But man, I just think it's cool that there's so many things that are useful to us, to help us feel better. And, like
Yes.
it's amazing. I was talking to a guy yesterday. He goes, "Man, I'm just not feeling very motivated." And I was like, "Are you drinking water? Are you going for a walk? Are you sleeping? Are you hanging out with cool people? Like, do you have like big goals? Like?" And it was like no to most things. Like, no wonder you feel like crap.
Yeah,
Like,
you got nothing going on.
right? Like, of course you like something like if you're laying on the couch like a couch potato, watching reruns of the Jerry Springer show, like you're probably not going to feel like the best version of you.
Right.
You know, and he's doing a lot right, but it's like, man, there's this whole opportunity to do it better.
Well, and like what you said, I'm super guilty of not only the wanting convenience or whatever, but I also, through decades of intoxication or intoxicants, let's put it, where I condition myself for instant gratification.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like, oh, if I take 3 of these, I'm going to see Neptune in like an hour.
Yeah.
And nothing that is, and it's like, nothing that is worthwhile is like that.
No.
Absolutely nothing in my experience is as good as the payoff of like incredibly powerful narcotics. So it's like, what is that all about, man? That is some bullshit. But turns out that there's this, we always, in recovery, we would say like, oh, it's an inside job.
Yeah.
There's this long-term payoff for Kaizen, the small incremental improvements, and it's like you suit up and show up.
Yeah.
And if you can suit up and show up with little or no expectation, which is a tall order, but if you can do that, at some point you have the rearview mirror, you're like, oh wow.
Yeah. Well, it's like, cool. Do you do it fast or do you do it long? You know what I mean? It's, like you can do it fast, but can I do it for a long time? And I think we both are in for the long journey.
Absolutely.
Just a quick thing.
Speaking of the journey, so next up, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. Fired up. We're
throttle up.
Throttle up.
Yeah, that was
we're fired up.
Yeah, come on,
throttle,
you forgot.
I know.
Yeah. We're fired up right now.
We are fired up right now, but this
in
is
2
throttle
weeks
up.
we're going to throttle up.
Yeah, that'll be great. Is that Metrotech?
At Metrotech. And so Justin Landon, the CEO of Metrotech, has volunteered. He is going to give the industry update.
Oh, I love it.
So he is going to essentially spill the tea.
Yes.
There's like all kinds of rumor and innuendo and stuff like the Zillow transparency and this, that, and the other thing.
There's a lot going on.
All kinds of craziness.
There's a lot going on.
So, Justin volunteered to be the kickoff.
Very cool.
And then you're gonna like get everybody dialed in and fired up,
pumped up.
Yep. Get their heads right.
Absolutely.
And then Michelle and Ashley are gonna do their
thing
live in front of everybody, and it's gonna be the coached and the coaches. The coach and the coached. So that'll be interesting because, as we all know, Ashley's not necessarily one to take direction.
Yes.
So that'll be fun.
It'll be great.
And then we'll top it off with actionable tactical content creation stuff with Corey, and then we are going to roll out the Studio USA mobile.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that is currently parked behind the building here.
It's gonna be great.
So everybody that feels like hanging out afterwards, we will absolutely kick the tires and
cool.
monkey around.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So dude, cool. I was not expecting it was.
It's great.
Yeah, Fired Up Friday, the Man Show Health Edition.
I love it.
Now I'm gonna go get testosterone shots after this.
Yeah. Well, at least go get. I'll give my guy and get checked out.
I will tell you, like, I'm a throwback. I was raised by a bunch of John Wayne era dudes, and I do not go to the doctor. It's one of those things where if it's not visibly in need of stitches or broken.
Yeah. If only there was someone that spent their whole life studying how to optimize your body. If only you could talk to that person, that would be cool.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. So and here's my thing: I would not go to the doctor, but I would go to my performance doctor. I'll give you his information.
Okay.
Send him off a vial of blood, and he'll let you know.
Okay, that's
where
doable.
Yeah,
that's doable.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Boom. There we go.
Until next week.
Till next week. Go get them.
Okay, now one last time. I got to
Now you got to go. Also, we got coaches training coming up and our mastermind. So get to those. Those are going to be great.